All right, folks. So I just finished up episode 7, and I gotta tell you, this is a real shit show. So I don't know how many of these videos it's going to take for me to cover everything that was in episode 7, but I'm certainly going to try to keep it as condensed as possible. Now, as you may have noticed, I've moved locations. Sundays are my days off. The hubby and I have arranged this. He gets Saturdays, I get Sundays. And so I'm in my bedroom. Aren't you feeling special? You get to see the inner sanctum. So, I started going through episode 7, and excuse me, my hair's in a ponytail today, and so I keep accidentally laying on it. So if you see the camera jiggling, it's because my computer is set up on my bed on a temporary table. So I apologize. We happen to have a very, squishy mattress. So episode 7 was a real shit show. I felt punch drunk after I watched it the second time all the way through. And it took me, I started at about 7:30 this morning, and I just finished it. It's about 10:30 now. And I got to tell you, folks, the more I watch this shit, the more I wonder what the fuck is going on down there in Manitowoc and Calumet County, Wisconsin. So let's dive right on in, shall we? So Sergeant William Tyson of Calumet County was assigned to keep an eye on any Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department officers that would be on the scene at the searching. And he was directly placed over Lank, Colburn, and Remaker. But even he admitted that he didn't keep as close of an eye on them as he should have. On November 8th, William Tyson was not present. And funnily enough, the officer that was supervising them was not instructed to keep an eye on them. He wasn't instructed to keep a close watch on them. And, of course, if you're not instructed to keep a watch on, some fellow officers, you're not going to think that there's something that you need to pay attention to. I find it odd, though. I find it very odd that Manitowoc County was okay with 2 sheriff's deputies that have been deposed in a class action, or not a class action, but a civil lawsuit of wrongful conviction just barely 3 weeks before. I find it odd that Manitowoc County was perfectly fucking fine with them working the case. Anybody else find that a little strange? I mean, even if Calumet County didn't find something odd with it, shouldn't have the sheriff noticed something was off with that? Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department should have taken them off the case completely and instructed them not to go anywhere near the fucking crime scene. I'm just saying. Now, the bookcase that Link was searching on November 8th, he admits to having emptied prior to the November 8th search. He emptied it on about the 5th. Colburn emptied it on the 5th. And Lank just took a passing glance on the interior. And yet, on the 3rd search, Lank finds a key. If that bookcase had been emptied several times prior, how in the fuck was no key found? It was a bookcase. It's not like it had any fucking drawers or hidden compartments. And I'm sorry, but a key fob that big, you would have seen, I don't give a shit where the fuck it was wedged. There's no way that it could have been wedged in anywhere as to make it difficult to see. The funny thing is that Lank volunteered to search the Avery residence. Why would you volunteer that, Lieutenant Lank? Lieutenant Lank! That's all I can think of when I hear, because serious. Sergeant Colburn also volunteered to search the Steven Avery residence. Why would you volunteer for something like that, Sergeant Colburn? You were just deposed in a civil lawsuit involving Steven Avery not 3 weeks prior. Don't you think that like completely throws out the whole concept of conflict of interest if you volunteer to search the plaintiff's home in a potential missing person / murder case 3 weeks after you've been deposed, you slimy shit? Oh, God, people. The funny thing is that neither Colburn nor Lank disclosed the depositions and their involvement in the depositions of a lawsuit involving the person whose property they were searching to Calumet County. And yet, when Calumet County was made aware of this, they didn't file a report. They did nothing. Nothing was done about this. I find that highly suspicious. Does anybody else? Somebody's doing something they're not supposed to. And in fact, several people are doing some shit that they're not supposed to because they're trying to cover up their brainlessness from before. You know, folks, it's perfectly fine to admit when you fuck up. It is not fine to keep the lie going to cover up your fuck up. We all know you fucked up. All you gotta do is admit it now. Okay? It's perfectly fucking simple. Now, Kratz says that there is no evidence that officers planted evidence. Are you fucking serious, Kratz? There's no evidence that they didn't plant evidence either, and that in and of itself is fucking suspicious, okay? There is nothing but evidence that the evidence that was found was compromised. That alone makes it fucking useless, and why you continue on this bullshit, I will never know. Colburn questioned Steven Avery on the 3rd of November, at which time he asked him if he could search his home, and Steven Avery said, yeah, sure, come on in. You know, why would he do that if he had something to hide? Now, true, between October 31st and November 3rd, there is a window where Steven Avery could have cleaned up any evidence that was in the home, but a trained law enforcement officer would know what to look for. And there is no way that he wouldn't have found shit on that first looky-loo, okay? People, it is a known fact that humans tend to clean only in their own line of sight. So they're not going to think to look underneath the bed, you know, under the lip of things. They're only going to clean what they see. A trained law enforcement professional would know that and would have looked. I want to know what Sergeant Colburn's police report from that day says. From November 3rd. I would love to know that. If anybody knows where I can find a copy of that, please leave a link in the comments below and I will be happy to check it out. I'll give you my analysis in a future video. Colburn then lied on the stand about what he said in 1995. He says that when he received the call from Calumet County about Gregory Allen, it went out again. It's such a pain in the ass. He lies on the stand. He says that when he received the call about Gregory Allen from Calumet County in 1995 regarding the Steven Avery case, that he told the person on the phone that they would have to speak to a detective about that, and then he transferred the call. We're going to talk about what he said on the stand in the very next video. Thank you for watching.